Nice to see you again, and congratulations. I'm Steve Levinson. I'm a retired Supreme Court Justice from Hawaii.
And I'm Hank Chambers, law professor from the University of Richmond.
And Jerry Bass, district judge from the state of Oklahoma. Are we bison or rams? Buffaloes or rams? Bisons. Never mind. We'll just move right along.
Falcons.
At least you know to laugh at the judge's attempts. Okay.
That was a groan, I think.
A well-deserved groan. Okay, please introduce yourselves.
Well, hello, my name is Natalie Ritter, and I am a junior.
My name is Maggie Bailey, and I'm a junior.
My name is Joseph Chapman, and I'm a junior.
I'm Coulter Freire, and I'm also a junior. Our teacher is Mr. Mark Tallhofer on the corner there.
All right. Well, good afternoon, and this is Unit 5. We didn't like the question, so we wrote our own. Question number 3. We need procedures that translate the values of the Fourth Amendment with its warrant requirement into a new and technological context. Do you agree or disagree with this claim by a legal scholar, and why? What values are inherent in the Fourth Amendment, and why are they important? Some scholars argue that government can use surveillance, data collection, and data mining technologies for good purposes such as keeping America safe from terrorist attacks, preventing crime, and delivering social services. Do such uses outweigh possible negative uses? Why or why not? And you may begin.
The Fourth Amendment in the Bill of Rights ensures the right of the people to be secure against unreasonable searches and seizures. This amendment has played a vital role in protecting the personal lives of people since the Bill of Rights was ratified in 1791. In the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson wrote that all men are endowed by their Creator with inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The values in the Fourth Amendment protect the fundamental right of liberty that Jefferson spoke of. The most important value inherent in the Fourth Amendment is a person's right to privacy. It has been supported by cases such as Griswold v. Connecticut. Other important values include limited government, the freedom to be left alone, freedom of movement, freedom from government intrusion, and freedom of expression. However, these values are continually threatened as new technologies are used by the government.
Electronic surveillance and data mining technologies can be used for good purposes, such as preventing terrorist attacks, crime, and providing social services, like the 2010 census. However, use for a good purpose is not enough to meet the values set forth in the Fourth Amendment. An illegal seizure of a person who has committed a crime is still a violation of that amendment. In order to provide for the various public benefits listed previously in a manner consistent with the Fourth Amendment, proper regulation of the uses must exist. It is possible to strike a balance between the use of technology and Fourth Amendment values. One does not have to unnecessarily limit the other. But we believe that the current legal framework around the Fourth Amendment is inadequate to strike the proper balance. One reason for this is that the framework was developed in a less technological age. The best example of the problem is the plain view doctrine set forth in Coolidge v. New Hampshire, holding that anything in plain view to the public is unprotected because there is no legitimate expectation of privacy. However, technology now raises serious questions about what is in plain view. If a piece of technology can see something that cannot otherwise be seen, is that thing in plain view? Kyla v. United States says no, at least in the context of thermal scans.
But aerial surveillance, something only possible because of technology, is allowed. California v. Sorello. How these holdings will be applied to newer technologies is uncertain. Another reason the framework is inadequate is because the courts deal with broad concepts like the expectation of privacy. Does facial recognition technology used on a street corner violate a person's reasonable expectation of privacy? We believe that it is not a simple matter of allowing or not allowing such technologies. The proper question is what procedures on their use exist. Therefore, we agree with Professor Balkin's proposition. We believe that if the only question asked is whether there is a reasonable expectation of privacy, there is too great a risk that our Fourth Amendment values will be eroded beyond recognition. The procedures we envision must start with the notion that privacy is primary, but also recognize that circumstances can allow collection or use of data.
The benefit in having procedures is that they can draw fine lines between the broad concepts like privacy and public safety, while recognizing that one does not have to outweigh the other. For example, collecting personal data in order to provide a welfare benefit can be acceptable, If the data collected are limited to only what is needed to provide the service, they are securely stored, their sharing is limited or prohibited, and destroyed after they are no longer needed to provide the benefit. Different procedures can be adopted to deal with the differences in the privacy of medical data as opposed to demographic data. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Take a moment, get a drink of water.
Sorry about that. So, the courts are not the best branch of government to establish such procedures. While there are exceptions, Miranda v. Arizona, they generally deal with either upholding or overturning the procedure being used by the executive branch. The legislative branch can react more quickly and consider all of the ramifications of a procedure. It can also more easily modify its procedures if and when circumstances are not bound because of the principle of stare decisis, yet we believe that the Supreme Court must maintain its role as being the ultimate judge of whether a procedure violates the constitutionality of the Fourth Amendment.
Who decides the data that's needed and how long the data is kept?
The government is currently there is no necessarily framework around who decides what data is needed. The government is really unlimited in this area for in certain circumstances, and we believe that after the data is used, it should be immediately disregarded or destroyed.
What kind of data are we talking about? Are we just talking about demographic information? Are we talking about data that can help us connect the dots with respect to terrorists? What kind of data are we talking about?
Well, there's different type of data. For example, there's the 2010 census, which is taking place now, in which we are just trying to find information about the country. In other circumstances, the government tries to collect data to find terrorists and track them down.
Another set of data that could possibly be used is DNA. And we often leave our DNA everywhere through fingerprints or hair strands left from your head. So DNA is also another set of data which I believe should be strictly regulated.
The TIA, Total Information Awareness Program, that was developed by Jeff Jonas and really started in the government by John Poindexter, is a total information awareness. Credit card numbers that are outgoing calls from a landline, such as pen registers or track and trace devices numbers. These are all information that can connect us to terrorists, connect us to terrorists or suspects in that area. However, as my colleagues stated, there's also demographic data and medical data that is helpful to the general welfare.